Kristen Weaver, Mayor Pro Tem.
Danielle McKinney, council member.
Frankie Fritz, council member.
Okay, and Councilmember Pompey is at a work-related event, activity, meeting, actually, and she probably will be joining us a little bit later on. Let me just start off by asking council and staff if there are any information items to be shared. Councilmember Fritz?
And I believe Mr. Summerone said he had at least one.
Okay. That's fantastic. So let me just say that council holds work sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays several times a month to exchange information with community stakeholder groups, with staff and others, advisory boards. We don't take formal votes or actions at work sessions. Tonight's session is open to the public, as are all council meetings, except those executive sessions that are authorized by state law. So residents can observe our deliberations, and we'll pause periodically tonight to accept public comment. So if you wish to speak during those designated comment periods, if you're here in the room, just raise your hand, and after being recognized, you can head over to the podium. You'll need to state your name and provide an address for the record. If you are participating or watching on Zoom, you can raise your virtual hand and submit a written question, or once again, if you raise your virtual hand, you can submit a written question, or you can raise your virtual hand. We'll recognize you and promote you. You will need a name and an address. We don't accept anonymous comments. And finally, if you're watching on cable TV or Zoom or Facebook, just send us an email. The email address is questions@greenbeltmd.gov. So with the public comment, 3 minutes, please stick to one topic, the topic that's under consideration. Hopefully that's what we strive for. And, let's all be civil and avoid disparaging comments about people's motives and whatnot. So here we are. This is the second work session where we're considering our recognition and contribution groups. And I believe this is the 11th council work session related to the budget. We'll be having a final work session, meeting on Monday, kind of pulling everything together before we actually take action on the budget at the next council meeting. So before I go any further, let me just acknowledge our city manager, Josue Summerone. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
So, and we've got Nicole DeWald and Greg Varda with us from the Greenbelt staff, Community Center Recreation Department, and they have headed up the evaluation, I guess it's the evaluation committee. Ms. DeWald, what would you, could you, thank you for your good work over a number of years. So this assessment group, evaluation group looked at all of the applications. Do you want to just kind of frame things really concisely
Sure.
before we move on?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and
Thank you.
Council and Mr. City Manager. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. The Recreation Department could not be more pleased or impressed with the efforts of our amazing community groups who do so much for the city of Great Belt. They're wonderful partners with us, and we've been honored to help them through this process, and we're grateful for you making this opportunity available. Groups are allowed to apply for basic certification status if they wish to request in-kind services from the city of Greenbelt, which may include facility use and or staff support, equipment use, things of that nature. Groups may also apply for funding for either a project grant or an operating grant, and you will see examples of all three types of certification in the agenda tonight. So the applications specifically for funding were reviewed by a grant review panel, which included representatives of no fewer than 5 Greenbelt advisory boards and committees, and we really appreciate their diversity of experience and perspective. They helped us to look at the strengths of all of these wonderful applications. They evaluated both merit, potential impact of the community programs, and also the need of the organization, and tried to balance those two factors. Seniority is not a factor. This program is designed to make space at the table for all sorts of wonderful community organizations, both longstanding and those newly emerging.
And, as is the case each year, we actually get more requests for funding than we have the money to provide. So just really briefly, what was the criteria, the framework or matrix that was used to kind of balance that out with recommendations?
Sure, thank you for raising that, Mr. Mayor. The requests actually exceeded the available budget by 63% this year. So in addition to the adjustments that we had to make based on the scoring of the panel, we also had a second tier of adjustments that were based on the budget size. Since reductions had to be made, we're recommending that they be made at the end of the spectrum where most of the money is. So the larger groups took a bigger cut just based on the size of their own budgets as a neutral criterion.
Well, thanks for queuing up the discussion. We've got a full agenda tonight. So the first group that we'll be speaking with is the Greenbelt Black History and Culture Committee, and we've got Representatives Dr. Louis Rosado and Mr. Joe Parks. Welcome. So nice to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to just say a couple of words about the organization and then talk about the plans for the coming year?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Thank you, City. I'd like to read our purpose and mission statement. Our mission is to highlight and celebrate the contributions of Black or African Americans to American history, culture, and society, past, present, and future. Through thoughtful and inspiring programming, our committee aims to honor the African American diaspora and create spaces for reflection, learning, and celebration. We invite you to collaborate with us, especially our youth, so the torch can be passed to the next generation. Together, we can continue our story and our legacy, keep the fire burning, and ensure that the light of Black American and African diaspora history and culture are never extinguished.
Well, thank you so much. And, just basically you're asking for a renewal of your status as a recognition group. So
Yes, yes. We were founded in 2019, and yes, we're asking for a renewal of our recognition. And I think the programs that we've been able to provide the community focus on education, culture, and history. And I think what we have been able to do over the past 7 years, is to connect with other Greenbelt institutions. I want to especially call out Nicole DeWalt, because she has been really, really helpful with our art programs and making sure our first set of exhibits were wonderful, and she also can direct us to some of the artists as well as Shamar. So we've been able to do an art exhibit each year, and the art programs that are designed have been able to be designed around the theme. As you know, the Association for the Study of African American History each year presents a theme, and the next theme is going to be the Black press to the Black digital press.
Huh.
So it's going to be very interesting. And we have been able to help the city's groups, various groups, come together. So if you see an annual flyer, it'll list the Golden Age Club program. It'll list the recreation department's particular programs. It will list the Greenbelt Cinemas programs as well as the Greenbelt Museum. So all of us are working in tandem to try and present appropriate programs around a particular theme. Our funds are generally embedded in the recreation department's budget, so you will not see us listed with the other programs, but we appreciate that because it prevents us from having to try and be too competitive with others. And I also have to show you that all of these programs that we've done, this was the very first one. And this program was fun because it was our very first one, and our special speaker was Dr. Alvin Thornton, who at the time was the Prince George's County Board of Education. And we were able to also include them Raider boys. We try to include high schools, especially Eleanor Roosevelt High School, and we try to include other high schools, Prince George's County high schools. So we try to include our students as well as others who are doing incredible work. Next year's theme, we're working to contact the different schools of journalism, because we really would like to have journalist students, as well as we're trying to get a representative from the Afro-American in Baltimore, and what's the other one? The Informant in Baltimore. And we're being introduced to a new person. I think I put the flyer up there. Yeah. We don't usually do a Juneteenth program, but this year we were asked, Cortland Jones. You remember Cortland Jones, who was an instructor at the middle school. Cortland, I remember Cortland because when I was part of the Community Foundation, he had submitted a literacy proposal for the middle school. Well, Cortland is retired, but he has continued the literacy work. And he has connected with Deion Johnson, and they have put together a film called Forever Free. Now, we don't usually do anything for Juneteenth. Our programs are Black History Month and Emancipation Day. But this year, we decided to join them because they asked us to on this red carpet premiere of this film. As you all know, the numbers in our public schools for reading are abysmal. And I think it's extremely important for both the community and parents to hear what are the possibilities, and also to learn the history. You have to remember, Africans, when they were enslaved, were not permitted to read and write. And now, of course, we can read and write, but we're not doing it. So this film, I think, is going to be very encouraging and very important for the community and the parents.
Yeah, I've seen the film. It's powerful. It's long, but it is very powerful. So, but we're at our time limit. Council, do you have questions or things you want to share?
Frankie? Councilmember Fritz?
I'll just say I'm very excited about the topic, Black Press to Black Digital Press. It's very exciting as someone who's a history major. It's so important that we have those alternate voices, right? I think now more than ever we realize that we are being fed narratives by corporate media that we do not control. So whenever there are independent voices, those are so important to the historical record, because it's so important to be able to say that people said this was wrong at the time, that there were voices of dissent, and that there were other perspectives. So lifting that up, the history nerd in me is very excited about that topic, and I'm very glad that you're doing this.
Hey, well,
Oh,
thank
Ms.
please.
McKinney has her hand up.
Councilmember McKinney.
Hi, good evening. Question for you. I know in the past you've had to be a little bit more strategic, let's just say, in the programming that you have selected to implement and do because of funding, because of resources. Where are you focusing? What's the plan for this year? Are you planning to really focus on Black History Month? Are you planning to kind of spread over lots of different programming over different times of year? What's the thought?
No, we usually concentrate on two areas. One is for February, and the other is for Emancipation Day, and we're going to continue to do that. We've already got a commitment from Shemeka, who portrays various women, historical women, to do the, what was her name? Ida B. Wells. So yeah, the concentration will be February and November.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for all of the work you do and the volunteers that you pull in from the various groups and from people all over the community and outside of the community as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up we have the Greenbelt Community Orchestra. Welcome. It's so nice to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all that you're doing with the orchestra. How old is the orchestra now? And you just want to kind of briefly describe the orchestra to us.
So we're now 3 years old, and each of our 3 years we've given 3 free concerts, which have been very well received, large, enthusiastic audiences, and we're very happy to continue doing that. So this year, our November concert was a French theme, including Gershwin's American in Paris, which was extremely challenging. I know there are a lot of arrangements for like school bands, but if you play the original, it's really hard. But we pulled it off. And then in March, we had our Women's History Concert, which was a lot of fun to play all this music that by these composers that no one had heard of before. And we have included music by women in all our concerts this year. And then our final concert, I have flyers. So our final concert this year will be on May 31st, and it's a American History 250th anniversary theme. So we have everything from part of Dvorak's New World Symphony to the Mississippi Suite by Ferde Grofé, who was a contemporary of Gershwin. We have Leroy Anderson's The Typewriter. We have a beautiful piece by Florence Price. We have, you name it, we have it in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And looking ahead to next year, we're planning for November to do the planets with NASA imagery and commentary from NASA scientists, which we're excited about. We're expecting an even larger audience than usual, and given that it's standing room only in the gym, we're planning to do that concert twice, on Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon on the same weekend, so that we can double our audience, hopefully. And then we've been approached by 2 different choirs wanting to collaborate with us, which is maybe a possibility for next March. And we've also been talking amongst ourselves about doing Peter and the Wolf, maybe next May, having a children's concert. So we have lots of ideas floating around. This year we've had, as well as our associate conductor who's been with us from the start, we've had 3 University of Maryland doctoral and master's students conducting us, and that has been great. Their young energy and their expertise. They're all moving on to new things, and so on last Thursday we auditioned 4 more who were all great. It's going to be a hard decision, but really no wrong choice between them because they would all be good. So we seem to have conductors lining up to conduct us, which is a good thing. So we're excited about what's going on in the future.
Can you briefly describe your funding request for the coming year?
Yes, so we our main need for funding is to pay our conductors a small stipend, since we are hiring very high-level conductors. Also, we need money for the rental and the rights for the music we play. Some of it is available online for free, but if we want to play anything by a woman or a minority, basically it's still under copyright, and it can be very expensive to get the rights and rent the sheet music. So those are our major expenses.
Well, thank you so much. Council, do you have questions or thoughts you'd like to share regarding the application?
No, not, but thank you so much for doing such wonderful things. And I think that play for next year, would you say The Wolf? And yeah, I think that will be awesome for children. Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Leroy Anderson, did he make syncopated clock? Have you heard that?
I'm not sure I know that one,
Yeah,
but
please.
yeah.
I just appreciate all of the variety of concerts that you've been able to do. The one with the women composers for March was excellent. Looking forward to this one. And I noticed it looks like you're also seeking out new fundraising, like you're going to be the co-op roundup
Yes.
in July. And so that's great to see that you're trying to sort of expand your fundraising options.
Yeah, the co-op roundup is specifically for a percussion fund. We share the concert band very generously shares their percussion instruments with us, and so we've been trying to help them out with some of the maintenance costs and cost of new instruments. So the co-op roundup will be dedicated towards that.
And you do fill up the gym, I think. Yeah, it's always packed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the premieres of local composers and actually having the composer there in person or by video. I think that's really inspiring to, to composers that we might have in Greenbelt that are working on things, or students and whatnot, seeing that their works can be performed by an orchestra, during their lifetime.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about this concert. Is it free?
It is free. May 31st, 4 o'clock in the gym.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. If there are no further questions from council, thank you for your good work. Thank you. Next up, we have the Greenbelt Concert Band, I believe.
Hi, everybody. Hi, little Dan.
Hey, little Dan.
I got a sidekick today. Nice to see you all. We're very happy to be here. Of course, we have our props, and I only show you these because let me get situated. Let me get situated. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us, and thank you for your continued support. I'm Little Dan Seldrin, prop master. And this is Jean Lee. She is our secretary and hospitality chair, and I am serving as general manager and percussion player. So we have had a very exciting season thus far, and we wish to thank the Greenbelt Community Foundation for supplying us with the grant for our April A Day with Disney and Instrument Garden. I'm just super psyched about that experience because during the concert, not only did we have the children prance around the gym, remember, Jean? They had this going, they had this going. We were playing something, hitting the right notes. And then we had the high school students from Eleanor Roosevelt, the National Honor Society. They helped us set up and break down, and don't you know they got up with us and they were shaking and getting their dancing scarves. So it was really a fun time. So we definitely want to do a lot more of that to engage all ages, young at heart especially. As you know, we have been around for over 80 years. I mean, we haven't yet, but we're getting there. And we love to entertain and we love to engage, and all of our concerts are free and very well attended by folks of all ages, mostly from Greenbelt, although most of our musicians, I would say, are not Greenbelt residents yet. We're still working on that. Many of them travel a far distance, like from Baltimore, from Montgomery County, from Virginia, and we appreciate them coming to play with us every Monday night. And we thank you very much for the space that we can use to rehearse in room 201 at the community center, and of course the venue in the community center gym. So we have now over 60 volunteers, musicians that are playing, and our biggest hit, I would say, that was really meaningful and special for us is that we did a tribute concert for one of our former members, Tom Chericks, who was a very long, he joined, in like 1965, before we were born. And he was also serving as the general director. He was the director. And so that was a wonderful tribute because not only did we play with him, but he played with other bands, and those members came to play with us. So we had a nice collection of all kinds of musicians and family members, and it was just very heartfelt. We are strengthening our partnerships this year with schools, Eleanor Roosevelt especially, our senior communities. The Wind Ensemble is, of course, doing their great work with going to various retirement homes and communities and playing on Tuesday afternoons. So if anybody wants us to come out, we will be happy to do that. And we just might bring our shakers so more people can be engaged. And then, of course, we are very thankful with our partnership with Greenbot Access, bless you, television that helps us with getting the promotions, the videos done, and also the filming. So that's been really awesome to do that. Of course, all of our concerts are free and open to everyone. And this past season, the concert band has done about 6 concerts, and the wind ensemble at least 5, and a couple more planned. And of course, our brass choir will perform for your tree lighting this December. And the next thing that we did that we talked about last year, you might remember, is our Band-Aids volunteer program. And so we have friends of the Greenbelt Concert Band help us out. They can be people in the community, so some residents help. Staff, if you will, welcome at the welcome table and help take pictures for us that end up in our wonderful Greenbelt News Review. And so that's been really fun to get with people who may not be musical or be a musician with us, but also be still part of the band, which I think is really special. And of course, we have our partnership with Greenbelt Community Orchestra. We loan them our percussion equipment, and that's been really great to work with them. Now, Greenbelt Day is coming up, y'all, so put on your green because we'll be performing for that June 7th at 3 p.m. And we also play, of course, every year for Veterans Day at the Greenbelt American Legion, and everyone is, of course, welcome to come to that. And our Holiday Lights concert right here at the gym is December 19th at 3 p.m. Of course, we could always use more storage for our percussion instruments and our music library, but we've been paring down and we've been cleaning up, and we have an inventory planned after our season in mid-June. So I'm excited to get in there and see what else we can find that we can use. And we love the fact that we can have some more support for our wonderful director, conductor, Joan Racky. She goes above and beyond. She comes in to help us set up the room. She helps us transport equipment. We all help, move the percussion equipment to our outside sites when we have not here in the gym. So we're very, very, very grateful for her because she does all that. Plus, she loves us. She does. She knows about everybody. She knows who's recovering from surgery. She knows who's moving. I mean, I can't keep it straight, but she knows about everybody, and it's such a wonderful community band, really, that we are a family, which is very special. So we're so glad to be part of that. We have.
I feel like you've already told us, but can you talk a little bit about your funding request?
Oh, I was right on to that, Emmett. That was my next in line. That's really what you came for, right? That's what you wanted to hear about. We have a Zeffie campaign online so people can donate. Audience members, of course, can donate, but not here within the city because that's not allowed. So we don't do that. But when we go off-site, people can put money in the box or give us a check and mail it in. And the next thing that we have is a sponsorship program, which is new this year. So let's say you have a business here in Greenbelt or really anywhere, and then you want to give us a gazillion $1 million, and we'll put your name on our website and in our programs and whatnot. I mean, okay, it's not a gazillion $1 million, but we have different tiers. So that would also help getting the word out about the business and then vice versa. So that's a win-win, I think. And of course, we have the July Roundup. So we'll be getting some monies, hopefully in July. Support your local co-op, folks, and that will go towards our percussion equipment repair and maintenance. And then that's pretty much for the programming and for the fundraising piece of it. Right now we have about $7,000 from donors, and having the grant from the Community Foundation was really helpful because we could purchase a lot of things that we will keep using for future concerts. So we're very, very thankful about that. Our goal is to pay our director $6,000 each season because that seems to be the going rate with other directors in the area. So we hope that with some funds that you could provide, that will take care of part of her salary and then operational expenses as well. Like if we have to purchase music or copying or paper, taxes that we have to file and all that. Yep. That's that.
So funding for the conductor,
Hmm.
for musical, for music.
Yeah, for
rights.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and also our website too. It's $100 or so for 3 years. I think we have that for.
Guys, I have a pretty big music library over the years.
Oh,
right?
do we?
Yeah.
We have file cabinets just stocked from top to bottom. Many, many file cabinets upstairs in 201
So where do you keep
and
them?
downstairs. We are able to share a little bit of space, but we still have a lot of things. And we've been paring down, things that are falling apart. The sheets of music aren't, withstanding, withholding. But we certainly love to be able to play a variety of music for people. Most of our things, we have to purchase the music, let's say, and that might be $70 or $80 for concert band, and then we have to then make copies, for all of the musicians for their part. So we would like to maybe go digital in the future. We wouldn't have to make so much copying and use the paper up. So that's one thing we can talk about. Yeah.
Okay. I really appreciate everything about the concert band. And I was out of town. I really regret missing the Tom Cherrick's memorial concert. He conducted, he directed the band. He's just played different instruments at different times.
Very
Amazing band.
talented. Hmm.
Yeah. And the brass choir, I mean, you guys perform in some difficult conditions.
You
out
know
there.
what I'm
It's-
talking about for that, Emmett. That's right.
They're out there, they're out there with the
Yes.
mouthpieces. And in the
Yes.
summer. So are you
Yes.
going to, with the 4th of July, it's hard. It's windy, it's rainy, and instruments are very, very sensitive to the weather.
True. I think for July 4th, we've declined playing at that event because of all the logistics and our equipment and, getting it here and there and the weather and some of us don't do well in the heat and humidity and the sun. We have some folks who are, going through some stuff, so we have to keep everyone safe. So when we're in the AC, that really works the best. We appreciate that.
Clarinets and reeds don't especially like
Oh, yes.
really hot weather.
Yeah.
Questions? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, I just wanted to comment that I appreciated you putting in the comparisons for the conductor stipends. That was really helpful to have that frame of reference from other community orchestras nearby. So thank you for including that information. And I think one of the challenges we have at Buddy Attic is that's not really a very I think you can barely call that a stage.
It's different. We're glad
it's
that we have what we
not
have.
particularly adequate
Yeah.
for performances.
Yeah.
Could you just repeat? So it's Sunday the 7th, and what time is the concert again?
That's at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. I just want to make sure I get that on my calendar.
And you can all find the information on greenbeltconcertband.org website, and also Gate TV on their YouTube channel also has captured Tom's wonderful concert. So we have it forever and ever, especially for his family, his friends. Hmm.
Other questions or comments?
I-
Well, hearing none, thank you so much for all you do. Looking forward to the next concert. Is it
Danielle has.
Danielle?
Danielle.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Council,
I'm sorry
please.
about that. Just a quick question. On the financial information, and you may have said this, so my apologies if I missed it. Can you describe the differences between what's on line A, which is the salary and wages, and then the line U, which is the honorarium?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that-
the honorarium we have used before. Let's say we've had volunteers as different different board capacities, and they've given, 20 years of their service, for instance, and we've gifted them money for their service. So it's different from the director's salary.
Okay. So it says honorarium to Joan and then Joan's salary. So is it?
Oh, so for that one specifically, that was from last year, and we wanted to help make up the difference using our own funds that we had a little bit left over to couple with what you all were able to provide her, because we're really trying hard to keep her and to give her what she is, what is right. So that's where the 6,000, we wanted to make up the difference from that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Looking forward to that upcoming concert. Thank you. Oh, let's see, we're running ahead. What are we going to do? No, I think the Greenbelt Labor Day Festival contingent is here. Is everybody here? No?
So we can.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
okay.
we are early. We are ahead of schedule.
Okay.
We could do some information items now if we wanted to.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we're running about, she's not late. We're running about 10 minutes early, which is kind of shocking.
Oh.
I mean, how could we not be in that suit?
I was going to say, I did notice the suit as soon as you walked in. That is a very nice suit.
Yeah. I use that advice for myself. I try generally just dress in green.
Yeah, we're ready for you, Karen.
I just came right from physical therapy. I'm like,
Well, and we are shockingly ahead of schedule, Karen.
I know. That's, it's like, oh,
It's not.
That rarely happens.
it's a little bit of a shock.
That means we're doing great.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Greenbelt Labor Day Committee.
Thank you. Donna's not here. She was, oh, Donna's here.
It's here.
Yeah. Vice President Donna Peterson.
Okay.
If you want to come up, there's
chair?
there's one of the chairs that
please
has
do.
wheels there if you want to come up.
You can roll right on up. There you go. So for people who may be watching on YouTube who have not come to a Greenbelt Labor Day Festival, do you want to just, real quick summary of who you are and what you do?
Well, this is our
72nd festival.
Yeah. The Greenbelt Labor Day Festival, of course, as the name implies, kicks off on Friday evening and runs until late afternoon on Monday, Labor Day. And in between, it's chock full of activities. The traditional fair activities like the carnival and games, lots of recreation activities, pie eating contests. I'm sure that'll be on the schedule again. The parade on Monday. Lots of entertainment. We already have the entertainment booked, and we're very excited about the lineup for that. So, and I did hear once that it's the largest festival in Maryland run by all volunteer. And I'm going to go with that statistic until somebody slaps a lawsuit on me and says,
I'm sure it is.
"You're wrong." Yeah, and we're happy to do it every year.
Well, it's a huge lift, and the committee seems to manage it so gracefully, even though there are always a few kinks there.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. That we do it gracefully, and that's a good.
So with the funding request, you just want to summarize the scope of the request.
Yeah, we.
No funding request. We just want
There you
in-kind
go.
support.
Yeah, we couldn't pull it off, of course, without the volunteers, without all the participants that give so much time and engagement to the weekend, but also the city is just such a great support from Public Works to communications to the council. We really do feel like it's an all-out city event, so we're very happy. Back.
Right. So Saturday is Community Day at Roosevelt Center. Different groups are able to come in.
Day,
Information
right?
Day.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then craft fair on Sunday,
and for the first time this year, we're going to try no craft fair on Monday, just because there's always some, there's a lot of moving parts with the parade, and moving people in for the parade and out for the parade and in for the craft fair. So we're going to do a one-day craft sale. So we're going to try.
And with the carnival and the food vendors, food trucks seem to be popping up more and more.
Yeah, lot of food trucks asking to be in. Speaking of the carnival vendor, we have a new vendor, and their name is Snyder Amusements. So I thought I'd give you all a little snack for tonight. We have had some challenging times with the former vendor. Usually when it comes to like permits, and when you arrive at the fairgrounds on the middle of the week before they start, and the police is there, and the permit guys are there, and Public Works is there, and they all have their arms crossed, and they're like waiting for me to show up, and with the hammer. So we got a new vendor. He's been here like 10 years ago. He stepped in when we needed a vendor to help out, and he's very family friendly. And the coolest part is he's all electronic for ticketing. So you'll have a wristband that you can recharge, mom can recharge, and we're going to have a really great time introducing that.
Okay, Councilmember, please.
And does he offer as well the wristbands that we can buy ahead of time at the co-op?
We'll have some offers. So we'll have, some pre-sale offers, as well as blocks of time. Maybe we'll go a little later.
Can I jump in?
For the teenagers.
Yes, so it's actually going to be a little bit different, but still with the unlimited rides, and I think it's going to be better, because what we'll be offering now is a 4-hour block, and you pick the time. So you pay one price, and you get your wristband, and the first ride you go on, they read the barcode, that activates it, and that is going to be good for 4 hours, and that will be true through the entire weekend. It's not going to be limited, the unlimited ride offers are not going to be limited to Saturday and Sunday afternoon like in the past. They'll be usable in the evening, or on Monday, or on Friday. And Karen mentioned we think that this will be very popular with the teenagers who would like to be at the festival in the evening, but they'll be able to get their unlimited ride as well. I think we're also going to have an all-day offer, which is a bit more expensive. Both of those will have pre-sales like you're used to, except that because it's all electronic, you'll be able to get your pre-sales just by scanning a QR code and paying online.
So can you, with the 4-hour wristband, can I do 2 hours today and 2 hours tomorrow? Or no, you just have to, once it hits the first ride, it goes 4 hours.
Your clock is 4 hours. But
right,
you
great.
will be able
Okay.
to do it both days, or all 4 days, in fact, if you wanted to do unlimited rides through the entire festival. You just need to get your day passes for 4 days.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Well, 6 grandkids, I gotta plan ahead.
The great part, we're also busy that weekend, right? So, you don't have to worry about the kids doing this activity or that activity, and they're going to miss time to do the carnival. They start riding rides when they want to start riding rides,
Right,
and when their
yeah.
schedule allows.
Yeah, I think that's good. Maybe it disperses a lot of people, to, some of the folks too, so it might be helpful.
Perhaps there won't be big lines right at the beginning, because you can start half an hour later and still get your 4 hours.
Yeah, you're not so pressed for this exact time, so yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
I think also one thing that we're looking forward to is we think that Snyder's will take care of his equipment a lot better. He puts a lot of emphasis on going through the winter with working hard on upkeep, fresh paint. So I think the rides are going to be, they're going to look better. They're going to be cleaner. It seems to be a very professional, well-run, family-oriented operation.
Okay, great, I look forward to it.
Okay, now, Do you have a?
No, go ahead.
Well, I have to ask this question. One thing that has changed is the relationship of the vendors to community groups, and the tradition for I don't know, for 40 or 50 years or 60 years has been.
Happy to address that actually, because we're going to be trying some new things this year. For one thing, I'm the treasurer, by the way, John Gardner. We've done pretty well the last couple of years. We had very good weather, and that resulted in high ticket sales, which meant that our part of it did well. And also, the community has been very generous with donations and sponsorships the last couple of years. So we've been looking at ways of kind of giving back and involving the community more. And last year, one of the innovations was adding music inside the gym at the Art and Photo Show, where we brought in acoustic music, string quartets from the orchestra and the ukulele players. And that kind of provided a calm, air-conditioned room to take a break from the outside excitement, and also greatly increased the foot traffic for the Art and Photo Show, so that's great. But this year, also on the budget, we increased the budget for the main stage entertainment. We have a great lineup of bands already booked, including both new bands, bluegrass to Afro-funk, and some old favorites like the Nowhere Men, Katie's Drum Circle, and of course, Greenbelt Honk situation.
I was hoping you'd seen Johnny Seaton because a lot of people are asking.
Not going to be booked, not coming back this year. We've also allocated a budget for some wandering entertainers. We had Greg May come last year, and he'll be coming back again this year. We're going to be looking for face painting, balloon animals, wandering magician, that kind of thing. And then our new initiative for this year is to work to increase the involvement of local nonprofit 501c3 organizations to be in the festival. Now, it's been a steady transition over the last 15 to 20 years that the local organizations have stopped doing food booths themselves. And that, I think, has to do with the level of effort it takes to do a food booth and to be actively involved, the number of volunteers that the organizations that would need. So when I first joined the committee a little bit more than 20 years ago, there were the Boy Scouts doing hamburgers, there was the Knights of Columbus doing sausages, Michigan Torah did sweet potato fries. All of those groups kind of one by one just said, we can't do it anymore. So and the other thing is that food trucks have come in and become much more of a thing than they were 10 or 20 years ago. And the food trucks do not want volunteers in there with them in their food truck. So we kind of decided that having the organizations involved in the food was just not working. So we've moved on from that. But we are looking at reaching out to local nonprofits to see what they can do for the festival. Now, we've always had the nursery school selling T-shirts, the PTA doing the book sale, and the youth baseball doing the bingo. We're going to look for more involvement by nonprofits, and we're willing to waive the booth fees for the nonprofit organizations if they are going to show us how they can interact and improve the festival experience for the people who are entertaining. I should say the Space worked with us last year in for several different ways, and we're reaching out to the Space to kind of get them into a booth and doing their thing with the 3D printing and all of that stuff.
And the groups we've discussed that they don't have to commit to the whole weekend, because that can be a real challenge, Friday night to Monday afternoon. So if, this club or organization says, well, I can do it Saturday morning, and this one says I can do it Sunday afternoon, we can kind of make that booth space a little bit more flexible and, meet the needs of those organizations. And it is those 501c3 organizations. I had the idea for the dunk tank, to bring the dunk tank back, but then, John, my voice of reasons, it's like, the hose, the water, filling it up.
Gotta have a drain. Because they were always right where now the book sale is. And the one year we had the book sale and the dunk tank next to each other, we kind of realized that books and water don't work together. So
But,
it's a good idea.
Right.
Well, if we can put them anywhere else, but
if
they
there's
need
a
a
clever
drain.
organization that figures out a place to put it that gives them the traffic that they want, I do have some prices for dunk tank. So, photo booths, that's another thing that's real popular at events. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas out there, fun things to do.
And we would love to see also nonprofit organizations involved in kind of the wandering entertainment, if we can set that up somehow, or give them a place, kind of a audience interaction. We have had community engagement activities the last couple of years, Sunday afternoons, that's become a thing. And the one thing that I thought you would talk about was accessibility.
Yeah, I did have that on my
Oh, you
list.
did.
I was going to
Okay.
get to that after you were done.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, two things I jotted down yesterday. We met last night for our regular meeting. We have, we're going to be celebrating the 250th birthday of America. So the entertainment roundup is great. All cultures. We have a lot of, not a lot, but we have some all women groups that are entertainers. It's kind of cool. Accessibility, we started that last year, making a real push for providing opportunities like maps and transportation, a quiet room at the community center, a sensory room, the air conditioning and the music at the photo and art show, just so people knew that all are welcome. Festive All was it last year. This year's the carnival operator will have benches at various places around the ride. So I was going to say grandma, but me, if I need to take a rest, there's a bench there. So yeah, accessibility will continue to be something that we're looking at, and we look for that bus, for the Greenbelt bus to be available, the connection to be available Friday and Saturday and Sunday for advanced registrations for rides.
And sign language.
And sign language
Yeah.
interpreters at all of our events,
We
yeah.
boosted that.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, well, and that actually leads into, because I think although there's not a dollar amount budget request, there is a lot of in-kind support. So I don't know if the Labor Day Festival or Mr. Salmarone wants to do, we mentioned the bus. I just think it's useful for, although it's not a line item, that is something that is part of the city, that we support this event through our public works primarily because it's an important thing. So I think just spending a couple minutes to talk about that would be educational for
I waited to do the public works letter until after tonight, so that'll be coming tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, I look
By
forward to
podium
receiving it.
congrats.
On the bus, we pay for the bus. This year, we would like to coordinate it because we don't have a role in the coordination and folks are calling us, but we're paying the bill.
Right.
So
Well,
we'd rather,
I think last year we suggested like $1 a ride or something, and we would cover that if we kept track of how many rides we have. But yeah, we'll coordinate
Yep.
something that makes it work for the driver
and we can talk offline about waste, compost bins, and requiring the vendors, food vendors, to have compostable eatery so that we can try to have an impact on reducing landfill waste. I'm still thinking about the dump tank. I can volunteer a few folks like the police chief,
Emmett,
maybe
Emmett.
council willing to
Emmett.
nominate the mayor. We could,
Didn't
it'll
you-
be sold out show.
I think
sold-out
Amy
show.
did one, didn't you? Were you in that dunk tank one year?
Definitely done dunk tanks.
I
I have
think it-
lost track of how many,
Yeah.
really.
But I think Emmett would be good.
would take the plunge?
If it's warm
for the
water, I
Labor Day
will.
Festival?
But it has to be a certain degree.
One also, another in-kind contribution that is huge for the Labor Day Festival is the police services.
Oh, yes.
The police are very, very helpful in providing security and helping us run the festival.
And CERT is there and CART is there too.
We- This upcoming year, we're a little more cost sensitive about the public safety. We have all hands on deck. We'll be a little more mindful about what is needed for public safety perspective and then the community promotion. We do all of it together. So just, we don't expect to in any way have an impact on the public safety precautions, but might do a little less promotion, community promotion as a result, because all of our staff for that event is overtime.
Okay, and finally, well, Ashley, go ahead.
Yeah, I really did enjoy having the music indoors at the art show last year. I thought that was great. And I was just wondering if you guys had considered reaching out to Roosevelt. They have a very active band program, band and orchestra, and those kids are always looking for opportunities to play in public. So it might just be a good way to sort of help those kids get a little bit of, experience performing in like little quartets or whatever. And so, I mean, it's shortly after the school year starts, but I mean, they are supposed to be practicing all summer and stuff. So I'm sure if you reached out to the band director there, he would be excited to connect with you and maybe, fill a couple of slots.
More marching bands.
Yes, marching bands. are
Well,
great.
they're supposed to be restarting their marching band. I don't know that happened this year, but they've been in conversation at Roosevelt about restarting that band for a while. But it's actually kind of expensive to have a marching band because you've got to have all these uniforms, and the budget environment for the schools, as I'm sure you all know, is constrained. But that is something that people have expressed a lot of interest in. So maybe.
We did manage to have the Duval High School marching band in the parade the last 2 years,
That
and
was
we'll be
great.
bringing them back again if they're willing. The challenge for school groups has always been that it's so close to the beginning of the year. The teachers are overwhelmed the first 2 weeks of classes, and that's just always been a challenge. But it would be great to get the Roosevelt kids
Yeah, they
involved.
might be interested in doing some of the smaller stuff. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for all you do, and I'll say it again, it's an amazing lift that happens each year, and here we are at the 72nd Greenbelt Labor Day Festival, so looking forward to the city coordinating very, very closely and making it happen.
Yep.
Thank you.
All of our applications for things go live on May 18th.
Monday?
Things like the craft fair, the booths, Info Day.
Parade.
The parade,
parade.
as well, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah,
parade too.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
only
the
thing
one-
that's going to be delayed, just because it's not as critical for signups, is art show and photo show. That'll be a little bit later this summer.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you for your time.
yeah, and thanks for the pretzels. Snyder.
Remember
Snyder pretzels. Okay, and next up, we've got the Greenbelt, the space. Mr. Rand.
And then Shamer Higgs is online.
Okay, welcome. It's so nice to see you, Mr. Rand. Mr. Higgs, are you there?
Yes, I am. Greetings, Mayor. Hello, Council.
Fantastic. Great having you here. So, can you talk just a little bit first, a quick overview of what you're doing and how things are shaping up in the past budget cycle over the past year before you talk about what's coming up in the future?
Sure. Chamar, do you want to kick it off?
Absolutely. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather. Beautiful, cute granddaughter got me a little sick. So here we are. This space, so yeah, over the last year, we were lucky enough to get a sponsorship or funding from TADCO and the Maryland Makerspace Initiative. And we were able to expand our makerspace programming to more industry standard 3D printers, laser engraver, laser cutters. We have more cohorts. We were able to expand our entrepreneurship program where we teach people how to take their creative ideas to bring them to life using the 3D printer, laser engraver, laser cutter, Cricut cutter. And we expanded that to 2 high schools, one in Maryland and one in DC. And they actually bring their students out to our school. And over the holiday season, one of the schools, their students actually had a holiday market. So that was really nice to see the students, create their items in-house and sell it to their teachers. Also, we were selected. My gosh, that was a process. We were selected by Maryland Nonprofits and Employee Prince George's for their Standards for Excellence program. I'm sure Bob is excited about this. We are nearing pushing that send button on that for our basics application. So that has been a year of lots of learning and growing and getting everything, getting our governance even more stable. And then I don't know, Bob, the biggest thing right now is just the expansion. There were some challenges, I will say that. We've had some spatial challenges. But with that, it's allowed me and then the rest of the board and the rest of the volunteer staff to really see what's important. Excuse me. There was we have many programs. We listen to what the community needs. We're on the ground every single day, and I think that's really the role of a nonprofit organization to listen to what community needs and within the mission, within the parameters to make it happen. So yeah, I'm really excited about what happened this past year, and Bob has all the important stuff.
Mr. Rand, you want to talk a little bit just about the board and governance?
Sure. Yeah. This nonprofit cohort was a big deal. In fact, I've got the Shamar doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to submit this tonight. So it was a top to bottom review of governance and policies. We looked at mission, strategy, evaluation, leadership, including the board. We adopted over 20 new policies that were recommended by the Standards for Excellence. We looked at ethics and legal, finance and operation, resource development, public awareness, engagement, and advocacy. So we were one of 6 nonprofits that were selected in Prince George's County, including also the cinema, Greenbelt Cinema. Dr. McGrath was there also. So that was a big deal. It was a lot of work, but I think it has strengthened our organization, and there's a more solid framework for evolving and growing now. The TEDCO grant was a big deal for us, as Shamar was talking about. Shamar's done some amazing things with the entrepreneur program, using the new equipment and his training experience. A few months ago, there was a waiting list of 30. I'm not sure how many are on the waiting list now, but it's a very popular program. It's intended to help people understand some technical skills, but also the business requirements of starting a new business that would supplement income. In terms of challenges, as Shamar said, we had loss of what we call the upper space, which is now going to be the jumping trampoline. Yeah, the trampoline place. Yeah. So that's challenging. We had a couple programs, the sewing program and the yoga program that we're operating from that we have yet to find a new home for. There was also kind of a minor a redesign of the original space that cut off a back of the far end. So we're a bit challenged to try to figure out how to expand within a small space, and this is what a lot of nonprofits are facing too, is how do you find new space? We face ongoing funding challenges, and we also were recognized as a workforce development center with Employee Prince George's. The backspace of the Third Space Lounge is now a center. I think that Shane Mark can talk more. I think we're really trying to understand what's happening with employment and youth in the county and how to help people find jobs, develop, grow their skills, and how to help them with good life choices. I guess the final thing I'd say is that we've been called upon to be fiscal sponsor in a couple instances. It was the Get Out the Vote program, and also we're fiscal sponsors for GILA for one of their programs to receive funds from the Greenbelt Community Foundation. So that's a service that we're providing to the community for those groups who are not yet incorporated as nonprofits. They can use something like the space as a fiscal sponsor to receive the funding as a 501c3.
Yeah, very impressive. The space, it sounds like space is one of the biggest challenges. You've got the sewing machines. The TEDCO grant sounded like it was a capital grant for the printers.
Yeah, it was a makerspace expansion grant. We got $50,000, and we were able to buy some new equipment and launch some new training programs. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So, can you go ahead and give us a quick overview of the request for this year?
Yes, this year is $25,000. We wanted to be responsive to the city's budget challenges this year and reduce our ask somewhat. So our ask is $25,000, and it's for general operating fund expenses as before.
Okay. Mr. Higgs, would you like to add to that at all?
I would just add to the entrepreneurship program. We also had PNC Bank. They came out and did a business banking class with us as well. So like some of the other programs and groups have stepped up and said that like our partnerships together. So yeah, I just really enjoy connecting the dots in the city and bringing services to everyone.
That's fantastic. I'll bet a couple of the credit unions in town would probably be open to doing the same kind of thing. That's neither here nor there. Council, do you have questions or comments? Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem.
Just because I was writing it, so the sewing program, and what is the other thing that was primarily displaced from the upper space?
Yoga.
Yoga. Okay.
Yoga. So with the sewing program, I'm shifting things around downstairs. It's been a challenge. It's been fun looking at redesigning everything. So I will be bringing the sewing program back. It's not going to be the full 20-person class, but we'll have a version of sewing in the space.
And as far as collaborations with other groups, you mentioned the cinema. And I feel like there are some collaborations that you haven't mentioned that are ongoing. I know the city has sewing classes and whatnot. So I'm just wondering, are there any new collaborations with Greenbelt organizations that are in the works?
Yeah, that's a good question. We do have a rich list of partners. In fact, I filled out a community partnership grant with the office of the county executive. So we have a connection to the other makerspace. Shamer, what's the list? Help me out.
As far as the other organizations that we work with?
Yeah, partners.
Here in this, oh man, Bob, my flu brain. But I can give you that list. We can give you that list. But yeah, I think that I know there are a lot of organizations. We've partnered with a large majority of the organizations here in the city, Mayor. But we'll chat about the sewing class at the rec center. We can chat about that.
Oh, cool. Mayor Pro Tem?
Is the Playtime Project, are you still working with them?
They're actually moving into the mall, so they're going to be in a location behind us.
Okay.
I'm taking some notes here. A pop quiz. How do you spell entrepreneur?
Are you ready?
Yes. I'm only kidding. Okay, council member, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to, compliment on the space on the wide variety of programming that it continues to provide, particularly in Greenbelt West. I think it's great, and to congratulate you on a very cool free comic book day. It was very cool. It was really well organized. You had some pretty impressive special guests there. And I just
Sadabu's
appreciate
the
that.
man. Sadabu did
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah,
congratulations.
it's great to really see him coming into some leadership there and
Yep.
growing, and it's just you guys just are doing great. So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let me, here's the list of the partners. We have Prince George's County Memorial Library System, Maryland TEDCO, Playtime Project, Employ Prince George's, George Washington University Art Therapy Program, Greenbelt Community Foundation, the Lions Club, Makerspace, Greenbelt Unplugged, Quantum Companies, Random Unselfish Acts of Kindness, Cheers, Energetics Technology Center, Free State Justice, From Scratch Fundraising, Greenbelt Community Church, Co-op Supermarket, Kingsman Academy Public Charter School, Maryland Reproductive Justice, Maryland Trans Unity, National Building Museum, Pathways Public Charter School, and the Greenbelt Black History and Culture Committee. I had to list them all for this grant, so.
Very good, very good.
Okay.
Well, is there no
There,
further?
Ms. McKinney has one.
Councilmember McKinney, are you there?
I am. In your financial form, you had mentioned something about charter schools. And I was just wondering what that included.
So
It's like tuition for charter schools.
Yeah,
the
that's
charter schools that
Pathways and Kingsman.
It's listed on line C, and it just says tuition, which is tuition, and then the description says charter schools. And it's increased over the past few years. So I was just curious what that was for.
Yeah, Shamar, do you want to explain about the program for Kingsman and Pathways?
Oh yeah, so the program is just expanding. So Kingsman Academy, originally there was a program. The way that they describe the school is it's like under resourced. Like they don't have enough credits or it's aged out kind of thing. So we originally had like 5 students. They expanded that to 10 students, and then we had Pathway School, and they originally had 2 students, and they expanded that to 5 students, I think. And so it looks like this year it's going to expand even more because Kingsman wants to bring a second cohort, which would include an adult group. So another thing with the Kingsman Academy group, their students actually did a Shark Tank style pitch, and they ended up buying the supplies for the students so that they can start doing the stuff that they learned at the space. They can learn it, they can continue that and do the items for their school.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you. You know, I want to ask Ms. Nicole, can you just briefly summarize what the review committee had said?
Sure. The committee complimented them on how the space promotes opportunity, accessibility, and equity, noting that they provide much-needed attention to Greenbelt West residents. Their workforce development element, they believe, may contribute to significant lasting impact. They're well known in the community for their good work. They have good leadership and other assets, and it is likely their success will continue. In terms of any concerns, the one thing they mentioned was whether the space might be trying to do, quote, too many different things, and just wondering about focus and core mission. They did note that a break-even budget was presented with the requested support.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions or comments from council? Hearing none.
I have
you so much.
a
Please,
question.
Mr. Hicks, go ahead.
So something that came up in our standards program, when I say that program had us thinking about a lot of things, one of the questions that came up is that I've been thinking about for the space is, if the space was not limited on space, would we still be considered having too many programs? That's what I've been thinking about a lot lately.
I guess that's something that you'll have to kind of work through with the standards of excellence and really focusing in on mission. And it seems like you have a lot of volunteers doing a lot of different things. So
Yeah, we
So
also have,
we're-
we have a good board. It's
Yeah,
small,
yeah.
and we're looking for new board members. So
okay.
But what I say with that is, if we were a community center, that I don't think we would appear as having too many programs.
Okay, I hear you. So, thank you.
okay,
please.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you
very
so much.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, next up, we've got the Greenbelt Arts Center. Free to pull up another chair. Welcome. It's great to have you here tonight. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Of course, it's very hard to follow the space. You know, they're so impressive in all that they do. I'm Carol Shaw. I'm the president of GAC, which we fondly call the Greenbelt Arts Center.
I'm Alan Duda, Vice President of Facilities.
Chris Dolning, Treasurer.
Okay, welcome. So, can you give us a quick overview of who you are and what you've done over the past year, or bringing us to the table here together tonight?
Well, we've been in Greenbelt for 45 years. It's Greenbelt's only live theater. And often we call ourselves the secret in Greenbelt because we're underneath the co-op and it's not necessarily the easiest place to find. But, we've survived the pandemic, which we're very proud of. And we're still recovering a little bit from that in the sense that, we're rebuilding our programming, which is productions. And we face some challenges where we haven't had productions in the fall, so we've been filling it in with one night or two night types of programs, which has given us a lot more diversity and given us a lot more attention because every week there's something else happening in the Arts Center. We've had some surprises this year, and one surprise, of course, is, the bequest, which you've noted, that we received from Dottie Spivak. Anyone who knows Dottie, she did concessions for many years, every single performance, every single night. And she was a dedicated volunteer, a little curmudgeonly, but, but she passed away and she left us a significant donation, which we had hoped would be able to produce income for us to make up for some of each year we're kind of a little bit, don't quite meet. We have a negative at the end of many years, except the year we got the nonprofit recovery grant with $25,000, which we greatly appreciated. And that helped us a lot buy things like a motorized evacuation chair so that we can be sure people with disabilities can get out of the theater. And then the surprise, of course, this year where, we're getting a large cut in our funding from the city. And you explain that in the document here, and we do understand the city's facing a significant shortfall itself. So, we're hoping that, in the future we can maybe get back to. But obviously, the theater itself is the most expensive thing. And just being able to have the space available is very expensive for us. And we do try to continually have something happening in the theater so that we're constantly, but often it's not necessarily producing a lot of revenue because we focus on our mission of bringing in people who haven't been in the theater before, new, people who've never directed before. We try to give opportunity to many people to practice their art where they may not have another opportunity to do that, which is being on live stage. One of the things we have done better in the past year, I think we have a really strong board. We've really worked on board development, and we're working really well as a team. We have focused on increasing our marketing, and particularly our social media, which I think is bringing in bigger audiences. One of the things I've noticed, I've worked the box office since 2014. I noticed that the audience comes into, the shows are sold by the cast and crew. So the audience are very diverse depending on who's on stage and who's, you know, what, it's not necessarily the show itself, but it's people coming to see the people in the show. And one of the things we are trying to bring back are children's shows, which bring a lot of people, grandparents from across the country, and musicals, which are another very popular type of show. And we've had not been able to produce those shows in the most recent years, so we're beginning to focus on trying to bring those back because they tend to bring more net dollars than other shows. So the other thing I want to say is, you know, we're happy to continue to have the city's children's summer theater camp, you know, in June and July. You know, that is one good use of our space, and particularly for children's because, you know, their parents come and they know about the space, and hopefully, you know, we get more audience members through that. What I'm going to do is turn it over to Alan to talk more about our programming, you know, our productions.
Thank you.
Yes, nope, we, just from the shows that we did this year, we just finished Sweat. We did Romeo and Juliet, a comedy, I believe. Madam Pro Tem, were you there for?
I got to participate. It was when I think Councilmember Fritz did one night as well. Yeah, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was what, like 3 lines right at the end, but it was
Final lines at the end of the
Yeah.
show that closed it, brought it all together, so.
For your SAG credit.
not an aspiration I necessarily have, but I appreciate the thought.
Weeknights, you guys weeknights free, right? So we're currently doing Salome set in the 1990s, and then after that, we will be doing The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals in June, a musical with high schoolers for that. One of the things we're talking about is people don't know we exist, and so I've been working with Greenbelt Business Alliance for the signage things, and we're still looking to do that to see if we can get a sign higher up in the building that you can see from the square so that you would be able to see that we are there. With other groups we're working with, I've been working with Greenbelt Cinema, where we'll do split things, where we'll watch a show there relevant to the show we're doing. We're also been working, we've got a new person coming in who will be bringing shows, one-man shows, or musical shows over the summer, and he also wants to see what collaborations we can get with the New Deal Cafe. And then I know for next year, we're currently signing for our next season, again, hoping to get start on early on getting musicals and children's shows for next year. And we are doing Christmas Carol this year, so hopefully that will get people out. One of the other things that just we're paying very close attention to and we are interested in is if GHI is considering buying the co-op building itself. And so just from Greenbelt Arts Center, we think that would be a great thing to have the landlord here in Greenbelt. So we're keeping up with them on those things as well.
I was going to ask about that, the relationship with the your rent. Has it been stable, or do you have a lease for 5 years or 20 years, or how does that work?
Usually our lease is for 5 years, and so it did go up, of course, the last time we signed the lease, and our lease, I think we have it for until next year, and we expect it to increase.
And your utilities are probably going up. They're separate, of course?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So they're substantial.
They're substantial, yes. You know, probably, 60% of our budget is facility.
One of the capital improvements we were able to do with that is we're starting to switch to LED lighting, which is better for the theater and also using a lot less heat and electricity. So.
Yeah, we got a grant from the Greenbelt Community Foundation with which we purchased a new light board. So it's given us more opportunity to use newer type of lighting. I do want to mention that Alan is part of the Rude Mechanicals, and we have a partnership. They're our resident theater troupe. And then we also have a partnership with the Village Idiots, which is an improv group. And they just started with us last year. So one of our goals is that way of bringing in different groups who need space in the theater in order to do what they do. And the improv group wants to do a class on improv this summer, and for a 4-week class. So another thing we hope to do in the future is bring in some educational classes. We've done a few in the past, but one
Trying
of
to get more than grab a hammer and a drill and we'll show you what the band.
You ever do anything that, a class or something, it's in the Arts Center, but it spills out into Roosevelt Center or performances outside of the theater in Roosevelt Center or other locations?
We haven't really done that, partly because, in live theater, the lights, the costuming, the set, we do participate in the Information Day, we participate in the Labor Day Festival Parade. Whenever there's an opportunity to come out, we do have information about the theater. One of the things we need are more people, more volunteers to do different things. What happens is, for those who don't know, we have certain productions that are Greenbelt Arts Center productions where we pay 100% of expenses and we get 100% of the net. Then we have guest theater organizations, like the Reed Mechanicals are a guest theater organization where, they pay the production expenses, we pay the, advertising and the ticketing expenses, and then we split the net proceeds with them, so they earn a little bit of money as well. So, we look at that as, our ability to help the community in many ways with live theater.
It's powerful. Ms. DeWalt, what did the advisory committee have to say?
The committee noted that since 1980, the Arts Center has demonstrated the ability to achieve their goals despite many challenges. Having a live theater in Greenbelt, they note, is a great asset to the community. It promotes greater community understanding through art. It can have a formative impact through exposure and the appreciation of live performing arts for all age groups. They wondered whether the impact might be even greater with more educational programming. They did have some concern about the multi-year operating losses, but noted very happily the bequest from such a beloved community member. What a wonderful legacy. In light of that, however, they did wonder if this might be one of several groups which could get by with somewhat less city funding this year than they may have requested.
I see. Councilmember McKinney? Muted. You should unmute.
Sorry, I think that was up from earlier, but thank you all so much. Love what you all do in the community, and I appreciate all of the things that you bring. So thank you so much.
One other thing I do need to mention is we don't just do theater, we do art as well. And we change our art display every month. So we use local artists and we look for artists all the time so we can have them up. We also have an online art gallery, and for each art exhibit, we usually have an artist reception, which I know many of you have come to. And, many times, and like with the music, it's Marvin Gaye and the Gray Line Band. Those of you probably know Mike Bennett is working with us, and he's going to do some music things every Sunday for about 4 weeks. But he's looking at bringing in artwork that comes from his group. And we've done that in the past too, where the production, our current art now is done by a woman who has a serious illness. So she's promoting through her art, understanding of this illness. So, we try very much to work with the diversity of the community in many ways.
Speaking of which, I got to catch up with John Gardner. I said I might have a magician for him, and he's like, "Well, we might need the improv group as well for the Labor Day weekend."
Sounds like a good fit. Councilmember Fritz.
Thank you. I enjoyed being part of the performance. It was a lot of fun, and it was a really great.
Yeah, there's only a couple days left.
I know. I guess my question, I'm just looking kind of at the expenses page. There's a couple of it looks like you've done a little bit of rearrangement of some things that seem more like fixed costs, like utilities. You're going to spend less on utilities and you're going to spend less on cleaning services. where those projections coming from? Is this like an intentional trying to like right size those usages and services, because obviously utilities aren't overall getting cheaper?
Yes, I mean, if you look at the utilities, the actual was 7249, so we based upon the actuals, and we had budgeted based upon possible increases. So we tried to make the budget this year based upon the actuals.
Right.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I'm glad that you're consulting about the possible acquisition of the building. That was going to be one of my questions, and I'm glad that you're consulting about that. Yeah. But I guess I was just going to, more a comment is that these are recommendations from the board, the advisory board members, that there is still some possibility for adjustments, and I know I have in mind some possibly shifting around money from different groups that recommended. So I think there is still the possibility. I know you were one of the groups that had one of the biggest drops, and I know that's hard. But so we have to meet with the rest of the groups tonight, and then Monday will be sort of our final budget work session. But I think there may be some room for some adjustments based on looking at it sort of across the board and maybe shifting some things so I guess it's not necessarily a final number. There's still some negotiation to happen among council, because I know I have some ideas for how to shift things around.
Thank you, Kristen. Anything would be welcome.
Well, thank you so much for what you've been doing, what you've been working on for such a long time. So,
And we'll
thank
see you all in the theater, right?
That's right.
That's right. And it's what we do. Right?
What you do, because all the support you give to all the different groups is really phenomenal. And I always brag about Greenbelt and how supportive the city is of the different organizations.
It's awesome.
I meant to add that I went to the youth Shakespeare camp. I went to that performance last summer. It was great. Yeah, those kids are fantastic.
That's a city performance.
Yeah, it
That's
was
a
great,
city.
though.
That's
Yeah.
Chris Cherry's group. Yes, he does a fantastic job. We really love working with him.
It's a great partnership.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Greenbelt Access Television Gate.
So, good evening.
Hey, good evening. Everybody's looking so green tonight. What a coincidence. Welcome. You want to introduce yourselves and then kind of tell us about what's going on in the previous year, then we'll talk a little bit about what the plans are for the next year.
Absolutely. So, I'm Daniel Thies. This is my first year as the executive director, but I'm a familiar face at the city council, and I've been behind the scenes with some things that Gate has been doing in the past year, so I'm looking forward to stepping up in this role, and giving support are some of my board of directors.
My name is Jennifer Dudley, and I'm on the board of directors for Gate, and I'm also a member and make content there.
Frank Gervasi, president of Greenbelt Access Television.
Well, welcome. It's so nice to have you here this evening. Can you just talk a little bit about Gates' mission and what you've been over the past year, over the years? What brought you to the table tonight? I'm just trying to. But sometimes it's hard to draw out people. But
Yeah, so we're in our 40th year as Greenbelt Access Television, and that's really exciting. And our mission, if you see our logo, is right there, community-driven storytelling. And thinking about one of the questions that's been asked of groups of like, who are our regular collaborators, it probably saves us a lot of time to think about the groups that we aren't actively collaborating with. And I think that's a real big strength. And, also a big strength is that we have active board members who are active in other groups. So the fact that we have multiple hats that we're wearing, I think speaks to a big strength, which is us being accessible and us making sure that we are responsive to the stories and the announcements that need to happen as it involves entertainment, you know, political events, you know, educational events, things of that nature. We're always happy to be present in some capacity, and we're also really excited for all of the things that we have done previously with the Recreation Center, sort of tying some of our stop motion animation and filmmaking classes into the recreation arts programs, as well as bolstering some of the summer programs that other organizations have had. Those are really strong bonds that we have had with the Greenbelt Cinema, and you know, something that we have been working on in the last year, and we're finally seeing the fruits of this labor, is our expansion into the elementary school system with our literacy fair. That plan is sort of growing, shaping, but as soon as we are, you know, finally getting the hang of the vendors, that's really going to realize, you know, something that we have wanted to do for a number of years, which is, you know, make sure that GATE is accessible.
Yeah, I understand it. It's pretty difficult, challenging working with the school system. You have to be on the vendor list, and there's a lot of things you have to do. So GATE is unique, and can you talk a little bit about your funding and you know, the way I guess you're in the space and the community center and the PEG fees? Can you just quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. So PEG, or the Public Educational Governmental Funding, is a portion of the cable service package that you know, cable subscribers, they, you know, have that
franchise agreement.
Yeah, that those franchises, they set it aside, and that is then delegated to public access channels. And you know, the city of Greenbelt also has the municipal channel showing this. So, hi, I'm on TV. But you know, we also receive a portion of it, and as the city is aware of, that is a pile of money that has been shrinking steadily, and that's because there have been less local cable subscriptions, and we're sort of adjusting how we are as GATE, viewing our finances as not, you know, dependent on one bag of or one basket of eggs. That's the metaphor. So we're really expanding into a number of baskets. Part of this is the grant applications, and part of this is the educational expansion. But no, we're not treating any basket as a panacea solution.
So we're one of 1,700 public access stations around the country. They were started in 1985 by an act of Congress, and the then City Council created a separate corporation back in 1986. That's when we were born, 40 years ago. And of the 1,700, about 1/3 are separate. 2/3 have the public access, education, and government in one room, and 1/3 are separate like we are. But again, that was an act of council, and of course Amy's she's been our council representative. What the city council created at that time was to have one board member that was in both situations.
So there's the PEG funding, there's grant funding that we're talking about tonight, and also there's the relationship with the city, just in terms of the space that you're in on the second floor of the community center, and part of that is a commitment, I guess, to do certain things, like to help cover the Greenbelt Labor Day Festival a little bit. And how does that work again?
Well, we have an MOU that has never really been. 1 year we sort of dealt with it, and it's kind of just sat there. And the MOU stated that we would offset the rent, which when we originally started at room 204 there, we didn't pay any rent, neither did the News Review. And then council decided to start charging us rent, but we came up with this MOU memorandum of understanding where we would produce things for the city. At that time, you didn't have these wonderful cameras, and we would have two cameras going over here, one person doing sign language and one person shooting, trying to do it. So we were very useful then. And we would divvy up all the functions like Labor Day Festival and, that's kind of fallen by the wayside. We do a lot of the city events, but just on our own. We're not really coordinating with the city on that, so.
How many events would you say you cover a year? I mean, you guys are all over the place.
We
It's,
are,
covering different community groups, and I guess it kind of depends on the volunteers who are trained and willing to go out and do
We've got a
things.
lot of volunteers that we've trained, including myself. I didn't know how to do what I do before I started with Gate. Now I can edit and I produce stuff and we run it. Yeah, we have a lot of volunteer. We're mostly volunteer. We can only afford 2 part-timers right now. A few years, 4 or 5 years ago, we had 6 full-timers. Our PEG fees went from about 180,000 5 years ago to about 85,000 now. So we have a fixed cost of about 35 grand for just keeping the place open, rent and overhead and so forth. So it's a little tight. That's why we're here partly, but also we do a lot for the city. We just had our first Utopia Film Festival meeting last night. We've already got a bunch of submissions. We've been doing that for 22 years. Most film festivals don't last a few years. We partnered with an immigration film festival one year. There was another film festival we tried to partner with. They both fell by the wayside, and we're still going strong. And we're almost entirely volunteer. We do Reel and Meal. Utopia and Daniel has sat behind the computer and produced it for many years. We work with Peace and Justice. We work with a number of groups. The Baha'i community does a production every once in a while. That's been going for 18 years. Every month we do it free. We have shown in those 18 years, and every month, we've never missed a month. Even during COVID, we did it all online. We have had about 11,000 patrons over those years. So,
Member Tim?
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, because I think last year it was just a project grant. It was not an operating grant, correct? I was trying to find in my documents and I couldn't find it. So I guess I wanted to confirm that in my memory. And I think the other thing that clearly with the PEG fees going down and all of these things, I think something that we probably need to do is schedule a work session sometime later in the summer or early fall or sometime coming up, because I think we need to come up with a strategy, because I think we can't keep, the PEG fees are not going to increase. And so we need to figure out how we can coordinate, figure out the funding, because it's not the same as other contribution groups in the same way. I think Gate is in a sort of slightly different category, and I think we need to strategize a little bit about what our plans are as these cable fees just keep going in the wrong direction. So I don't know. It's probably not super urgent after this budget, but I think that's something we should add on the list of having a real conversation about what are some strategies and next steps for figuring out how the city and Gate work together, how we continue to support it, but are there ways that we can be more efficient, or I don't know, not sure what it is, but something needs to happen.
Councilmember Fritz, then I'm going to go to Ms. DeWalt.
Yeah. To the point about PEG fees, I definitely agree. You said there are 1,700 other public broadcasters, or not public broadcasters, but community community access stations that you referenced before. I'm sure all of them are in the same position if they're derived from cable revenue. I do think that this is something that maybe we should really be pressing on the state to look at a streaming tax. Media is going to continue to change, and the mission is probably going to change because it's the cameras we bought now are so much more powerful than the cameras we had previously, and children are running around with cameras that people couldn't have had access to years ago, and people are making content from their own homes. So there is obviously going to be a continued interest in audiovisual content and what you're doing. Obviously you're on YouTube. I thought it was funny that you found that 2% of your viewership is under 12. I don't know who those 200. I don't know who those 200 children are watching public access television. Hello. Keep watching, I guess. Yeah. So working with other jurisdictions on looking at modernizing the revenue streams, because obviously there's a lot of money in media. We know these social media companies are incredibly profitable. It is not that there's no money in media. It is that the model has shifted in the same way that gas tax revenues have shifted. We need to modernize how we fund our infrastructure. We need to talk about it in the same way. And then my question for y'all is on the income page, not related to PEG fees, although it does seem to be that the actuals in PEG fees were higher than the projected. It says, I don't know if y'all are looking at it, but if you could talk just a little bit about that. And then you have a projection for tuition as well, where you said 9,500 was what you would expect to bring in class revenue. It says you brought in 2,700, and now you're projecting 10,000. So could you talk a little bit about where those assumptions are coming from?
Well, go ahead.
I was going to start with noting that the youngest viewers for YouTube are reflected in, I believe, our YouTube for Kids. And what's something that's special about our programming that's, with children in mind is that that's actually through the stop motion animation program and digital animation program that is actually made by our students, mostly younger students. So a lot of things that are made under the YouTube for Kids is not the highest of quality, but something that they
I love them though.
like they don't have a explicit commercial aspect to it, and that's great for kids, that they're not getting ads thrown at them and improper suggestions. But I do think it's a really great pride about our content for the younger audience. And regarding the the projected
tuition revenue, yeah.
Right. We've been reflecting on our educational programming. We have had a lot of the stuff has been done in-house, and we're excited to be restarting our camera essentials certification course. Something that we're bringing to it is we've mentioned in our application that we had to repair a few of our Canon 305s, which is an older but still a professional grade quality camcorder. And so with our certification courses, we're now going to be able to certify them on 2 classes of camcorders. And as mentioned, we're also looking to expand our classes into the public schools. And so that's another big boost. But those were the projections on the tuition front, and I think that speaks to the jump. The other one being the PEG fees.
More came in than you had projected.
I think they're 2 different fiscal years.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Budget. Oh, sorry. Current fiscal. Okay, sorry. I'm misreading that line. Thank you.
Yeah.
To be clear, we have a $6,000 contract with the Spring Hill Lake Elementary to teach animation with the STEM subjects. We also, on the 22nd, we're presenting, not for any fee, the Career Day, and we did that over at the Greenbelt Elementary too. And if you want to have fun, you got to see these kids behind a camera that's this big. They all turn into Fellini. So.
Okay, Councilmember Pompey, then Mr. Wald.
Yeah, I just want to say I don't know if you had invited us this year, but in years past you'd invited us to see the stop motion, or council to see the stop motion animation, the results from those classes. And I absolutely love that. I've gone a couple of times, and these kids are so funny. If you have not seen these videos, they're hilarious. They're heartwarming. They're so talented. Like I'm in tears of watching the whole thing. It's like they're my own children. I'm so proud of them. And it's clear that they're just getting so much out of it and they really love it. Like it's incredible. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention is that I see that you guys are ramping up for a big fundraising anniversary gala or something celebration thing. And I'm excited to learn more about that as you guys move forward. Like good for you. That's really exciting. So I wish you lots of luck in that.
Well, thank you so much. Mr. Walt, can you share the advisory group's observations?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The panel commented that Gates' work preserves individual and community memories and extends the impact of the documented programs. They note that they provide educational opportunities that are significant. The panel did have some concerns about Gates' ability to deliver their services due to the staffing cuts. They noted the reduction in PEG funds. However, they did comment also on the budget that if Gate were to receive funding in the amount requested, they are showing a $37,000 profit. So they did consider that in assessing need.
Okay. Appreciate everything you do, the interactions with so many different touch points in the city of Greenbelt, both in the nonprofit sector, the schools, civic organizations. It's really quite impressive, and the educational aspect, helping folks learn to tell their own stories. It's powerful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You want to say anything to close this thing out?
Thank you. I like to say as little as possible, and I'm awkward with the amount that I've been allotted, but I do really appreciate it. And with the microphone in hand, I mostly want to give it to other people so that they are also sharing it. So thank you for those 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see, we're winding down to the home stretch, and we've got the Friends of the New Deal Cafe online. Are you there?
Yes, we're here.
Okay.
Hi.
Welcome. It's great to have a chance to sit and talk with you. You've actually come out to a couple of our sessions earlier, but now is your time to shine. The spotlight is on you. So if you could introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you've been doing this year, and just in general, what your goals and mission are.
Well, thank you. I'm Julie Winters. I'm the Vice President of the Board of Friends of New Deal Cafe Arts, and with me is Meg Haney, the President of the board. Meg, would you like to talk some about what we've been up to?
Well, right now we're in the process of planning the Jazz Festival and the Blues Festival. The Jazz Festival actually is set now, but the Blues Festival, being that it's a little bit of a larger festival, takes longer, a couple of months before you get all the bands on board and get all the advertising out. So that's what we've been doing right now to get ready for the summer festivals.
Do you have the dates? Can you just give us the dates so that I can get them on my calendar?
Oh, of course.
It's coming up in June, right?
June 6th is the Jazz Festival, right, and that's from 1 to 7 p.m. And then the Blues Festival is September 26th, and that is from 11 to 7:30 p.m.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, FONCA, Friends of the New Deal Cafe, it's the 30th anniversary of the New Deal Cafe. I don't think FONCA was there for the first few years. I remember Barbara Simon was so instrumental in promoting the arts and working out the relationship between FONCA and the New Deal Cafe. Can you talk a little bit about that? How many years have you been around now? 20?
Well, the Jazz Festival is on its 23rd year, and the Blues Festival is on its 24th. And basically, it was started that first year. It was started. They put together the Blues Festival, and it was a way to interact into the community, into Greenbelt, and also it was to help a fledgling New Deal Cafe to get more business and to introduce people in Greenbelt to the cafe. So it's been around for FONCA has been around now for over 2 decades, so.
Yes, and we help support the arts in general at the cafe. In addition to the music festivals, we are responsible for making sure that art is hung on the walls, and we hold artist receptions in relationship to those shows. And we also promote poetry in the community. We have the poetry moment box outside the New Deal Cafe, which highlights, a specific poem for a time and that sort of thing. So we're here to support New Deal Cafe, but really to support the arts in the New Deal Cafe. We're really friends of New Deal Cafe Arts. And so we're here to support the arts in general at the cafe.
Yes.
Very good, very good. So the funding request did focus mostly on the Jazz Festival and the Blues Festival?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. The arts budget is not as large as the music festival's budget. So that's really where we need help. Yeah.
Right, right. And so when it comes to promoting the arts, the musicians and the artists, musicians in particular, artists also, there are overhead costs. So just the sound engineers and actually being able to provide an honorarium or a fee to the musicians and the groups is expensive. So
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Jazz Festival or those groups, is there an honorarium for all of the groups?
Yes, we hire them to perform at the festival. So they do get a fee that's paid to them. Usually in the Jazz Festival, we make it even so that each group gets the same. And it's just the groups are now asking for more, just like everything else. They're asking for a larger fee to be paid.
And of course, the city through Public Works is very, very supportive in setting up the stage and
And
other
the tables, yeah,
logistics.
picnic tables, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what's going to be new and different with the performances this year in Roosevelt Center? The Green Man Festival, which is not related to FONCA directly, seemed to go without a hitch. It was a lot of fun. So do you have any new things that you'll be introducing or changes with the festivals this year coming up?
Well, with the Jazz Festival, we do now have a professional MC that comes in that helps. And in the Blues Festival, we've had somebody that will MC it and let people know about the groups, what their background is, how many years they've been together as a group, that kind of thing. So because people are interested in the bands that they're seeing. So we do that. And then, like as you said, we have two highly professional sound techs all the time. But I'm not sure we're doing anything particularly new, but we do have different musicians. The bands will be different that people haven't seen yet. And we try to, especially for the Blues Festival, since we draw more people, we always try to raise it up a little bit,
Yeah.
as far as the different bands, and how long they've been performing and what their following is.
Well, for the city, drawing people into a Roosevelt Center, bringing people together to enjoy music and the arts is something that's very important. So in the way of fundraising and also just outreach to make sure that the word is getting out to all of Greenbelt, what do you have planned for this year? Just in terms of promotion, are you using social media a little bit more than maybe you did in the past?
Oh, yes. Yes. Social media is definitely put in play. And we do have, posters and postcards that go out to various locations. It's in the newspaper. I'll be putting an ad in next week for the Jazz Festival. And we do have a list this year. We've really brainstormed to try to get more ideas for sponsors. And then we'll be doing our spring fundraising effort.
Yeah.
So that will bring in more,
And we have postcards out and posters for the Jazz Festival, and we'll be putting more of those kinds of materials out for the Blues Festival the closer we get to that date.
Right, right, right. And just, so with the festivals, it seems like there are food trucks and there are booths. So is that part of the fundraising act? And people are selling T-shirts. There's some great collector item T-shirts that are associated
Yeah.
with the Blues Society and whatnot. So
We
is that?
we don't have food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons being is because one of the reasons that we do these festivals is to bring people into Greenbelt to dine at our restaurants and to see what we have to offer. And we do the T-shirts. That's a fundraiser for the New Deal Co-op itself.
Uh-huh.
And we do have vendors. We usually have the same ones every year because they do very well. Now, this year, we're going to be trying to add at least another 10 if we can, so that we have some more that because people really like to walk around sometimes and just look and see what's available.
Yeah, these concerts do draw people from all over. Hey, Council, do you have questions or comments? Please jump in.
Looking forward to the festivals.
Thank you. That's what we want to hear.
Yes,
The people want to come.
So no questions, no, just happy to be participating when the time comes. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wald, what did the advisory group say?
The panel commented that the music festivals have very much become a mainstay of Greenbelt. They attract people to our city. They consider it a great value for the small contribution that's being requested. They would like to see more Greenbelt resident performers featured, if that's possible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for those comments. Just a couple of days ago at the Green Man Festival, I was talking to someone. Someone literally came up from North Carolina to come to a festival, visit with a friend also. But people from all over do come to these festivals, and it highlights the great cultural diversity that we have here in the city of Greenbelt. I'd be remiss if I didn't say what has often been said in the past. It's just really important to get the word out to all the different parts of the city. A few years back, I guess it's been a while, some concerts were actually sponsored there at Beltway Plaza before the Blues Festival. I think it was it wasn't a master class, but it was a sort of an educational program with music. Those kinds of activities are very impactful. So if there are no comments from council and no questions, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so, no. We just really appreciate your consideration.
Yes.
Like,
Thank you so much for helping to support the festivals and for the art. It really means a lot to Julie and I, that in the
and the board in
organization.
general, absolutely.
Right. And the Greenbelt people, I think, really like it a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks so much. Have a good evening. And
Thank
we're
you.
rainy
You too.
here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I think I hear a couple of drops on the roof. Huh?
Yeah, I know. I can hear it outside my window,
Really
don't
glad
you?
you replaced that roof last year. Feeling just this roof right here.
Sitting here with the back there.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. So now we've got not the penultimate, we've got the ultimate, the final interview here. Makerspace, Greenbelt Makerspace, can you please come up to the table? Pull up some chairs.
Yeah, I am gonna
Little
stretch.
stretches.
Actually.
Oh.
Yeah, my fingers.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because, yeah, she was later in the program last year.
It's necessary. Okay, you've had your stretch.
I feel better.
Thank you. Thank
We
you
might as
so
well
much.
stay here a while because it's raining so hard out there, I think.
Pretty hard right now. So welcome. It's great to have you here to talk a little bit about your funding request and talk about all the great things that you've been doing over the past years. So do you want to introduce yourselves first and then maybe talk about some of the accomplishments over the last year?
Start introducing here and then I'll talk about.
Robert Candy, the president of the Greenbelt Makerspace Cooperative. And online, we have Tim Uber, one of the board members.
I'm Vikram Kashyap. I'm also a board member and a volunteer.
And I'm Donna Lochner. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and they volunteered me to talk about our program. And I'm always happy to do it. I know I saw some of you at Green Man Festival, and I was talking to everybody that went by. I love to talk about the Greenbelt Makerspace Cooperative, the official name, but most people know us as the Tool Library. So let me tell you a little bit about how that all comes together. We're an all volunteer-led organization, small group of us, and we serve the community as a tool library, a repair cafe, and a makerspace, and soon offering classes. So our makerspace will turn into a classroom space as well. Let me start with the tool library, and that's where I spend most of my time because where most of our volunteers are needed. We have over 830 items in our library catalog, and we use the term tool loosely because it includes not only your saws and your drills and your socket wrenches, but a wok and an air fryer and sewing machines and 2 ukuleles and a guitar.
And those do get checked out.
They do, and the ukulele tuner. Yeah, garden equipment, all kinds of stuff, and these are almost entirely donated. When people need to downsize, we reap the benefits. We're now open 3 times a week. We have a Thursday evening session as well as a Saturday morning and a Sunday morning session. We keep track on a computer system. We know every tool that's been checked out. As of today, in the past 365 days, we have checked out 1,072 tools. That's a lot of tools. So we're busy during the time that it's open. And if you've been into our space, it's very small. So, yeah. And we have recorded over 1,300 visitors. We have a little bit harder time recording visitors. Excuse me, we have a tick system when someone walks through the door, and we have to remember, okay, was that 2 or 3 people that just came in? So we know we've recorded at least 1,300. So we know there's more. We miss putting the ticks for some of them. So we do serve a lot of people in the community. Our repair cafes have been quarterly up until now. So once every 3 months, we would open the doors and we would bring in a cadre of our volunteers who like to fix things. And you could bring in broken toasters or jewelry or pants that need mending, lamps, ornaments that need gluing, and we will try to fix them. So over the past 4 repair cafes, that would be the last year, we had 144 individuals who brought things in. And these we keep better track of because we have little tickets. They brought in a total of 199 items. So that's a lot of items. And depending on the cafe, we fixed between 66 and 82% of these items. So we're proud that we keep things in circulation. Our community members don't have to buy new ones, keeps things out of the landfill, and everybody has a good time. We have followed the lead here. We've followed the request to have them more often, and we are starting to do these monthly.
Good. That's great, because I have some stuff.
As a volunteer coordinator, I think, oh my goodness, how can we do this? But really, our first monthly one, the last one that we had in April was after a 3-month period. So now we have one Saturday.
This Saturday.
10 to noon, this Saturday, 2 hours at our location downstairs in the Granite Building. It'll be our first of our monthly repair cafes. These are totally free events. There's a donation box there that people can leave a donation if they want, but these are billed as totally free events. So maybe we'll see you on Saturday. Then the makerspace area and the classes, I was listening to Shamar's presentation. People often confuse the space with our makerspace and tool library. Our makerspace currently, in the small area that we have, we are outfitting for people to come in and use the items in the tool library if they don't have a space at home to saw their 2x4 or repair their lamp or do whatever. So it's that kind of activity. And hopefully by summer, we'll be offering some do-it-yourself classes. Simple things like how to keep your faucet from leaking. If it's dripping, how can you fix that leak without calling a plumber? Or something in your lamp that doesn't work, or grouting tile. We've had people ask for, how do I do the grouting?
Just thinking I have a lamp that I'm going to be bringing to you guys.
Saturday. Tim's online. Tim, you ready for that? He's one of our lamp fixers. Yeah.
I'm joining.
Okay. So anyway, excuse me. Oh, goodness. We've pilot tested having a safety class. We want to do that first. And we have applied for a county grant to have enough money to make that spare room that we have appropriate for small classes. Some safety equipment, some air circulation, some manuals laminated. So we really operate on a, can I say shoestring budget, Bobby? Is that okay? On a shoestring budget, being all volunteer. Primarily, our expense is rent and insurance. And last year, we applied for an operating grant, and thankfully, you helped us out with that. And we're doing the same this year, asking for funds to help with our rent and insurance. Last year, when I sat here with a group asking for this money, we were told at the end, well, thank you, but you know, you really should do more about publicity. So we listened, and what we've done about your recommendation in the past year, we got a banner that we put up so that when the tool library is open, people see it, because people had trouble finding us. But we also got a lot of walk-in traffic from that, particularly on farmers market days. People say, what is this tool library? And there hasn't been anybody. I've been there now 13 months. Not one person has said, who needs this? Every single one says, what a great idea. Especially when we say we're all volunteers. Yeah, they love it. So we did the banner. We also reached out to the farmers market to ask if we could have one of their tables, one of their free tables, because we don't have any money. And they let us last year 2 times. And Julie contacted me a few weeks ago, and I was able to have a table this past week. And I counted the cards that I gave out. We talked to 83 people about our tool library. So I think that's another good way to reach out. And I told Julie that we could always be her backup. When someone cancels for that free table, we're right there. We're right there. Yeah, we're happy to use that place for publicity. You also recommended we do more on social media, and we found a social media coordinator who was fabulous and then moved out of state. She continued to post from out of state, but it was less frequently because she had a new job and a new house. Now we have another social media coordinator now on board, so we followed through on that. I also did 2 promos with Gate TV announcing our repair cafe, and they did. I don't know if they charge anybody, but they didn't charge us. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And people then saw me around town and say, oh, I saw you on TV. Yeah, so people watched that, and it was a good way to publicize our repair cafes.
I think you're doing great work, fantastic with the visibility and with the farmers market now kicking in and having the banner and having tables, just great visibility.
But I got one more thing. I got to tell you. I just got to tell. I know it's late and you want to get out of here, but we are going to be at the Resource Fair in Franklin Park on May 30th. And I know Bobby and Shamar were talking about, how can work more with that community and maybe even a pop-up repair cafe at some point over in Greenbelt West. So we're trying to reach out, but it all takes money. And, this is a shoestring, so anything that we can help with, get from you to help with our operating expenses would be greatly appreciated.
Really appreciate the presentation and the things you're doing. Really, really community-driven. So a couple of questions. One, so the Makerspace Cooperative. So the cooperative part, how does that work? The members, it's a members cooperative.
Do you want to answer that?
Service cooperative.
It's not a workers' co-op like the News Review or service cooperative.
And here's a question for you. The membership is very nominal. How much is the membership?
Well, it's $50, but we ask it on a sliding scale.
Sliding scale.
Yeah.
It's a minimum of $20 is our lowest ask.
And I know you track requests, so there are pieces of equipment that you may not have that people are asking for all the time. So I'm wondering, if someone wanted to buy a piece of equipment that was on your list, and if it was exactly what you were asking for, would that substitute for membership for 1 year?
No, because of the liability. There's the issue of liability. And we've been informed by legal counsel that when you become a member, you sign this liability waiver, something that says, I will only use tools that I'm qualified to use and I know how to use them safely. So if you haven't gone through that process, we can't check out tools to you.
That makes sense. I was just trying to think how, because there are things that you need that you don't have that maybe people would buy. They would check off those things, and that way you would get the tool that you need for other people, and at the same time you get a member for 1 year. Councilmember Pompey.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed by your growth over this past year. Like, that is phenomenal, like really exciting.
A lot of it's thanks to Donna.
I mean,
doing a thing that I could never do to wrangle all the volunteers.
Yeah, it's so impressive. And I haven't, brought anything to the repair cafes, but they seem to get bigger every single time I go. And I'm really impressed with that.
It's just the best idea.
Yeah, it's such a great idea. And I think that the collaboration, I think the space is really just a natural collaboration partner for you guys. I think that is going to be a great partnership, and then you guys are going to be able to do a lot of really cool things together. I'm really excited about that. And then I'm also excited to join as well, like Councilmember Niesel. And if I ever come in there trying to use like any kind of electrical saw, like don't let me do it. Like even if though I sign the form, and don't let me do that, okay? Because I really should not be using anything like
Trust
that.
people. I do say when
Don't
they
trust
check,
me on
do you
that.
know how to use this
I mean,
safely? And if they say yes, I say okay.
It's probably not true for me. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm very excited. So you guys, I'm very ambitious, but.
Space and the Makerspace have worked together for a long time. So
Oh, good.
We've been trading, when we get things that they could use.
That's great.
I think we donated a 3D printer to them. Someone donated to us and we sent it over there. Yeah.
But I'm really excited. I'm excited to see you guys doing more, and what a great asset to the community.
Yeah, thank you so much. Other comments?
Ms. McKinney has her hand up, and Councilmember Niesel too.
Okay, Councilmember Niesel, please.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I just signed up, and I've been meaning, my sewing machine broke, and so I just signed up also to rent a sewing machine so that I can finally do my curtains. And for anyone who's been meaning to do it, it was very, very easy to sign up. So thank you for such a great website. Thank you for the services that you provide to our community. It's been again great to watch you guys grow.
We have 6 sewing machines, by the way, so just because Councilmember Niesel has one, there are others still available.
They can like help you fix your sewing machine now too.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Or
my
is it
fault.
too broken?
Okay. We don't know.
We do have a regular person that comes in. She's learning to do sewing machine repairs, so we could ask if, she's always looking for ones to work on, so.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Councilmember McKinney.
I just wanted to probably share the same sentiment as Councilmember Niesel. I will be in there on Saturday picking up the 3 tools that I have on reserve for my garden. It is amazing the amount of things that you have in there. I thank you so much because it really, especially in this economy, tools are expensive. And so if you need something and you just need to get something repaired or you just need to borrow something, like I don't want to go buy a tiller. I don't. I don't have the space for it. And to be able to go in and actually get it and use it and have it for the week is fantastic. And so, yes, I have definitely seen the growth and the marketing and the outreach. And I certainly appreciate it. And every time I come in there, everybody is so very helpful. So thank you so much. And see you Saturday.
Absolutely.
Mr. Summerall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your presentation and all the wonderful things you're doing. I am a member. I had my membership lapsed, but I've renewed. But on just now, yes. I was feeling guilty. Did you see me? But on a more serious note, we've been thinking about setting up some sort of volunteer program for dealing with snow removal. Most recent weather event was a bit challenging for our senior citizens and individuals with mobility challenges. And we're exploring the possibility of acquiring, purchasing shovels and equipment that is needed for snow. But the challenge we have is accessibility to someone to pick it up. You have an infrastructure already in place where you store equipment and you have a lending platform and be able to track it. Is there an opportunity for us to collaborate on acquiring? We could acquire the equipment, look for grants, or we use some of our funds, and you could be the distribution point for inclement weather events when those tools will be needed by the citizens.
Possibility. Have to give that some thought.
That would be a great thing, and we do, have a relationship with the community and the infrastructure. But I guess on the infrastructure point, one thing that we do struggle with is space, and having enough space to store all the tools.
That's true.
So that I suppose that would be one concern. But I think we are very open to, being like a resource for emergencies, that people can come and get emergency supplies. It's just something that we need to look into when it comes to how do we, with all the growth we've had in the past just a year, how do we deal with like all this influx of donations and tools that we're constantly lending out?
Excellent. I look forward to working with you. I think we can figure out the storage and space issues, because you don't need to have it all on one shelf ready to go all the time.
Maybe you have some closets somewhere that we could here. Yes. Okay, we will talk.
Do we have Nicole just mentioned a pod, so it could be a trailer, a pod. We also have this huge building right in front of Southway that's got garages.
We were coveting that too.
Definitely, we'd love to talk.
They're the folks to talk about with that building. Do you want it?
That'd be a really large makerspace.
Huge makerspace.
A lot of fixing.
But maybe one of the garages could be helpful for you guys.
Okay. Nicole, what did our advisory committee have to say about this application?
No surprises. They're very excited about it as well, and noted that residents are able to learn new life skills through working with the Greenbelt Makerspace. They offer a great value. They have the potential for lasting impact, teaching residents about sustainability, reducing waste, and sharing of resources. They noted that the group presents a break-even budget at the requested funding level, which they see as positive.
Okay. Well, I think you're doing fantastic work. I utilize your services. I come down and talk. I'm still trying to figure out how to thread that bobbin, though. And so a class, either at the space or somewhere else, would be great. Thank you for what you're doing.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Come see us.
Well, that wraps up our interviews for tonight, this recognition and contribution group process. The advisory committee, I think, has done a great job. And, I think just the format and the way that we've been doing these over the past 7 or 8 years has really streamlined and improved the process, and I would like to thank Ms. DeWald for her work on the applications and just kind of conceptualizing with Mr. Varda how we go about allocating these funds. There are so many great efforts in Greenbelt, and to be able to formalize the recognition process when it comes to utilizing city space and in-kind services, and also operating grants. You know, it's the way that Greenbelt has always run, where our residents we try government, city government, municipal government is all about trying to empower our residents to take care of ourselves and the surrounding community. And so it's fantastic to be able to go through this process. And so on Monday, we'll be working through our final review work session on the budget. We'll be discussing these allocations and more broadly the budget as a whole, and making decisions that we would actually vote upon at the meeting. I believe it's on the 26th. So it's been a long process. I guess it's the 11th session. Is it 11th or 12th? It's been a while, but we are still open to community input. And I don't know if any emails or letters have come in, but people still write letters, and sometimes they send them in. That's where we are right now. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I just wanted to so I have just for my own purposes, and I can send this to council and provide a paper copy for those who want, but just as a sort of summary of this, I've put some of the information that from each of the from each of the contribution groups into a spreadsheet and done a few different calculations that I think might be helpful. And I think I can send this out to council members if they want to sort of play around with some proposals and some numbers. But so I put, there's the name and then the information from the table that was in the memo. But then then there's a space for the recommended. So, well, I guess a couple things that I did is a percentage of request versus awarded in fiscal 26 versus 27 original request, some calculations of the also with the awarded 26 versus the proposed from the review committee, a space for that I need to finish the formulas in here, but so that if council members want to play around with the numbers a little bit and think about that. But then also some things that I found useful as I was thinking about it, the indicated surplus. And I think surplus might be a better term than profit, honestly. I feel like it's not really profit, it's surplus, it's extra. But so just to have that all in one place to be able to compare, and this is what they put in their application, and then also a surplus based on the recommendation from the review committee, and then I'll put in the right formula there. But then also their cash reserves, their restricted reserves, just so that's sort of a quick view there. And then also, just because I find it helpful, some calculations of a per capita per event, so, and for all and the Greenbelt residents. This is obviously all very quantitative. There are qualitative considerations, but I think at least for me, it's helpful to think about to be able to compare as much as possible those groups. So I put that together. I'll send it out to everybody, and then if people so that my colleagues can look at that and like I said, maybe make some adjustments and have some proposals ready for Monday. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
In terms of proposals, we were going to advance forward the proposed awards after the scoring, and then unless council wants to approach it differently.
Well, I think, maybe the best idea is if council members have ideas of adjustments they'd like to make for this, get it in to be a formal proposal in the packet, but by Friday, so get it in the packet on Friday so we can discuss it on Monday. Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll go one by one, and each item would be moved.
Yeah, I think if it's possible, if people have, I know I have some, like I said earlier, I have some ideas of some proposals I would like to make for some adjustments, but I think there's still a couple of days to get it into the packet, and I will send this spreadsheet out as soon as I have those last formulas.
I certainly have some things in mind that I've put together. So I suppose we can get them in the packet along with other suggestions or ideas for the discussion on Monday. It's very important to have as much information as we possibly can. So
what we're talking about Monday, do you want to go through the list that we would be
Can you provide a list if you've taken notes on, as I'm sure that you have, on suggestions that have come up through the process? If you can distribute that as soon as possible, even before the packet, that would be helpful.
We have a list of things that we have discussed previously of what you should expect for the Monday's meeting. So, for example, the healthcare and prescription premium increases,
Right.
the abatements, the cinema. We have 3 items for consideration under the cinema. That is the utilities, which is a request that the administration will be advancing, and then the 2 options for that cinema has requested. One's the business stabilization and development contribution, 60,000. And or, if council wants to consider both, the stipend adjustment due to inflation, increasing the stipend from 75 to 100,000.
Of course.
There's a utilities credit that I'm currently working numbers through. That's the, as you're aware, our utility, particularly electricity cost, is going up. So I was considering putting in a utility credit somewhere in the budget that we can move around to respond to utilities. The alternative that I'm speaking with the team about is the PEPCO credit that is due to us in the amount of 87,000. Instead of taking it this year, we take it next year, and that could be how we balance the budget next year, because we already have the funding for FY26 utility expenses. So instead of adding something else to budget, we know we have that credit out there that we could just use that to balance the budget. Then we've got the various position adjustments. In Public Works, we've talked about the environmental coordinator, and that's Kevin Driscoll Carpenter, and moving that into an operations manager. In Human Resources, we're talking about a proposal to accommodate the need for the bilingual content specialist. So we have previously talked about that. We're exploring a way of breaking up the current FTE that's in HR and creating, it's a vacant position, and creating a bilingual part-time person, and backfill the HR duties with an administrative assistant part-time. So we're talking through those. With the police department, we've got some compression issues given with the collective bargaining agreement and increase in the wages for patrol officers. There's several command staff that are now earning very close to what the patrol officers are earning because of the wage adjustments we've done over the last 2 years. So we got some compression, and we need to adjust for that. And we have the funding in the budget. We can move things within the budget to accommodate that impact cost. So the proposal to council, we're expanding the wage scale for those folks. The financial burden of it will be covered within the existing budget. And then CARES, we have 1 promotion and 1 reclassification. So that's an example of the things that we have going on. That doesn't include this list.
And we also had a request from the Board of Elections.
$500 that came in today
Yeah.
for the elections.
The CARES proposal that I put forward as
Yes,
well.
and we have that as well.
So to the extent, if you have all of that information except for these choices for the operating and the grants, please, forward that as soon as you can. I know we made the commitment to try and provide the public with an update on the discussions and modifications from simple typos and corrections to other major changes that information that needed to be inserted in the budget. Do you have a sense of when that might be available for folks in the public to review?
It's available now, the Q&A. That information is available through the Q&A on the website. Those are the budget inquiries, requests, or adjustments that we're handling by work session. The
corrections, and I mean, typically, with a document as large and cumbersome as the budget is, there are things, minor errors and things that need to be
I
corrected.
don't think we need to provide a list of those. I think
I'm just saying that people have kind of asked for that, and in some cases, there are like a table or lines kind of left out.
So council has access to that PDF document that we're tracking the grammatical, so that council has the access to that. We don't make that document available to the public because they're not consequential changes. We're talking about commas, misspelling, spacing issues. But the things that are of significance are currently available on our website, and we've we took council's recommendation last year about creating the summaries, and we've put together
Great.
summaries, and material from work sessions are available on that budget website and that work session.
Just trying to proactively, ask the questions that will come up. So, thank you.
And I welcome feedback on on anything that's on the website. Do you see that anything's missing on the website? We've uploaded things for those work sessions as material becomes available. So if we make a presentation here, we make sure to upload it on that section of the website so that folks have access to that content in various ways, not just through the council packet or looking to video, but there's that dedicated page.
It's important.
Mhm.
Information items, Mr. Fritz?
Yes, I just want to address a story that has been getting a little bit of coverage. It's been.
Got the floor. So. Mr. Summerone, you sent out an email about virtually with County Councilman Adams.
I would prefer in person, and we could work, and I think it's very likely that we could create an online option for the meeting. So the meeting is a follow-up to the conversation we had about submitting top priority requests to the county for the budget process. And we had a discussion at a work session with council, and I sent that request to the county council member, and they have expressed support for all of them. So as a recap, we're talking about the public surcharge fees that were due to us, an amount that exceeds $700,000. We are talking about the Buddy Attic and Greenbelt Lake maintenance funding. We have asked the county to provide us with grant funding similar to what they do for Bowie, Allen Pond specifically for pond maintenance. Ours is a lake. In the amount of $250,000. Support for the Schramms Hill Park, the lighting of the fields, and the argument there is that it acts very much like more of a regional park. We have more than just Greenbelt residents there. And then the last two items, one is the $36,000 for the Earn to Earn. They've expressed support for funding part of that. They are likely not able to do all of it, but they're looking at ways of partially funding that. And then the last was a non-financial support that's connecting the cinema with Bowie State and other partners in the state. So the discussion is about that request that we've made.
Great. I'd like to be a part of that. Other council members, certainly.
So have Councilmember Pompey, yourself, is there a third or just a?
It's during the day, right?
It'll likely be during the day. Mhm. Okay.
Depends on the timing.
It does depend.
Yes, and there's a time-sensitive matter because the county will be approving the budget soon. So I want to make sure we get as much in there in the budget. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
No, during the day, I'm not.
All right, we'll shoot some dates and times offline and figure out as soon as we can meet. Does that work?
Okay, well, that pretty much wraps things up. And did you?
On the agenda, I thought I saw. On the agenda, I thought I saw other business, so I came by for that reason. But if that isn't happening, just tell me when I can address an issue.
Yeah, you can certainly bring it up at the next council meeting, or just jot it down. Send us an email or something in writing.
I've got something on paper right
Yeah,
now. I
yeah.
can just hand to
To our assistant city clerk.
And it's about it concerns the cameras at the stop signs.
Okay.
Get a
Yeah.
ticket?
Yeah, and I haven't gotten any warnings, and I did get a ticket. I've got everything written down there. I'll just, rather than waste your time, I know this has been a long day for you guys. I will just leave that.
It's not a waste of time, but please submit that. And we'll.
Great.
Thank you. Okay. Well, if there's no additional business to take care of, let's go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to enjoy my pretzels. Snyder. Yeah, have a good evening. Thank you.
I have to give you my information so you can.